Hey folks, I'm making this video about the upcoming Virgo eclipse and the USA. This is the USA chart, as you can see, where we have the planets up here. And this is the chart of the upcoming eclipse on October 2nd, 2024. So as an American, and as America is a pretty dominant country in the world, we're seeing the effects of the eclipse right now, and it's a case study to show you how the eclipses work. And that's what I'm going to be talking about here in this video today. And I just wanted to first say, if you did want to, like, share, and subscribe, get notified of upcoming updates, it really helps. And also to leave a positive comment. If you like the video, it does help raise the video in YouTube searches. People see that it's getting positive feedback, and they feed the video into more people's feeds, so to speak. And again, also, as I say, like the video, it does really help. So you could see here that this USA chart has this Scorpio rising. This is in alignment with the chart that was cast back at the beginning of the inception of the USA back in July 4, 1776. The Ebenezer Sibley, the English astrologer, cast the time for about 4 p.m. About 5 p.m. I think was the time. And so this is very reasonable Scorpio ascendant, and the USA has Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Sun in Gemini in the 8th house, and has Mercury, Rahu in Cancer in the 9th house. Also has the Moon over here in Aquarius, and most notably, relative to this update, you see Saturn is here in Virgo, right, in the 11th house. Now look, as we go down, you could see what we have here with the eclipse. This is the wrong chart. So as you see, this chart, this eclipse chart, is Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Ketu at about 17 degrees, or like 15 degrees of Virgo. And the USA chart has Saturn in Virgo at 24 degrees. So what's very interesting here is that the USA has been going through this transit of Rahu going through the 5th house of the USA chart and Ketu going through the 11th house since the end of last year. And the USA is also in a Rahu Mercury dasha now, Rahu Mercury cycle. So Mercury is a transformational dasha for the US. It rules the 8th house and the 11th houses of the USA Scorpio chart. And by the way, this chart is like 5:41 p.m. And so you can see that this emphasis is being placed on the 11th house in the USA chart. Now, what does that mean? Well, the 11th house is the house of our public. In the chart of a country, the 11th house is our public relationship with each other. That means like our public, literally like the public square, the culture itself, right? The 11th house is our shared goals, right? 11th house is also literally things like politics and, again, shared projects that we may have as a country, for example. And so this sort of collective identity that we would have, let's say, as an American or as a Israeli, if you live in Israel or whatever, comes from the 11th house. So this is a big theme right now in America. It's getting eclipsed. And we have Saturn there in the 11th house of the USA chart, which shows this strong commitment to our public identity and to our collective identity in the USA kind of zeitgeist, I guess you would say. And, you know, in general, though, in the USA chart as well, Saturn aspects the ascendant pretty closely here. So there's also a very strong Saturn component to the USA identity. And of course, Saturn is the planet of pressure. It's the planet of you know, commitment, duty, hard work. But even from the inception and the beginning of the USA chart, there's also been this determination to conquer the land. This is one of the reasons why I think this is a Scorpio ascendant. I could say that I know it. And this 8th house of war and battle and destruction of what existed previously is really built in. Saturn also aspects that 8th house and all those planets in Gemini as well. So if you were to look at it historically, it's that nature of a collective identity as Americans and the what's called manifest destiny, the right to take the land from the natives, to push out other Europeans, you know, settlers and colonists from other governments, and to eventually persevere and make it our land. Even though, again, this land was taken from the natives who existed here before, it wasn't shared. It was, and again, it took a lot of effort and determination and hard work and, you know, cultivating the land and pushing the westward migration, you know, and, you know, into the entire land and vanquishing the enemies through, you know, determination and centuries. I'm saying this because that Saturn determination to be this collective people is also part of Americans' history. And of course, we also fought civil war over what kind of nation we would be. Not lost on any of us now. Should be what I'm describing in America right now, in the USA right now, as we're this aspect of America with Saturn in the 11th house is getting eclipsed right now. So it's a Ketu eclipse where we're now really focusing on what do we want to be as a country going forward, what's worth fighting for and being determined to emerge victorious over. Saturn is also, again, that sort of destruction, that kind of relentless pursuit of something that is part of the American spirit, I guess you could say. And so right now this is getting eclipsed. And when we have eclipses, it's a point of focus and concentration. And in this case, it's focusing on what we're determined and how determined we are to establish égalité and fraternité, which are French words. But a lot of our early documents were based or I should say the French, after, you know, the French Revolution, which came after the American Revolution, a lot of it was based on America, égalité, fraternity, and I forgot the other one, equality, brotherhood, and freedom, liberté. They even have the red, white, and blue also, but it's 3 equal stripes on the French flag. The point is that, again, Saturn is always very important in any long-term endeavor. And this experiment of American democracy and public, again, you know, not being a monarchy, but being a constitutional republic is also being very scrutinized now with this transit of Ketu through the 11th house and the Saturn of the USA, and now this eclipse there. Saturn is also going over the moon in the USA chart. Again, in the USA chart, the moon was in Aquarius, and Saturn has been going over the moon for the last couple of years. So the USA is experiencing the sati sati, you would say, but particularly the transit of Saturn over the moon. And the moon was in the 4th, which really shows this love of the homeland. And Saturn is bringing this pressure about love of the homeland. What does that mean? What do we want our homeland to be? And these are huge things that are happening now in America with this current eclipse. You see, I just put a thing up there that said samsmembersite.com. But, you know, below the video, you can click where it says to join, and you can join, especially the 5D Masterclass, where I'm doing election day predictions. A lot of them are based on different aspects. I'm going to be doing a USA eclipse and the election update here, probably today or tomorrow. But as you see, there's also tons of things on the lunar nodes, the Kundalini chakras and Vedic astrology, which are very much connected to the lunar nodes. These are all classes that you get when you register for the 5D level. Outer planets in Vedic astrology, also things like these other case studies of Trump and Biden, also things like the eclipses, birth, death cycles, kings, popes, world leaders. This is incredibly fascinating to see how the eclipses affect all of us, and how, for example, royals, the royal families, all have prominent eclipses. They were all born on eclipses. So again, eclipses are extremely important in the charts of like countries and situations where we have shared destiny. But again, there's other classes as well, Rahu Ketu and the age of maturity, the half return, other things about the nakshatras and whatnot. So these are available to you if you did want to also go deeper, especially into the upcoming election and the predictions that I'm making there. Many of them are also based on this eclipse, which I'm about to do, because these affect both of the candidates also. Of course, it affects the USA chart, but it also affects both of the candidates and their charts. Particularly, former President Trump has his Jupiter here, and so he's definitely getting the eclipse more directly. But today I wanted to just make this video showing the connections of this eclipse cycle to the USA chart. And again, it's really fascinating to see that our collective identity and culture in America really revolves a lot around these Saturn themes. Even think about, again, how much determination and effort it took to get the country, not just from the natives, but also Alaska and Hawaii and you know, Mexico and whatnot. So we have a very prominent Saturn aspecting our ascendant, and also aspecting all these planets in the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of death and war and transformation. And these things are also very up for grabs right now, particularly as we see Mars is going through this 8th and 9th houses, which I've been recently discussing also. So all those things are available at the channel here. But I did just want to show the obvious collective identity that the USA is now going through with this eclipse cycle that we're all dealing with, you know, right on the verge of an election, all the intensity around it. And we're about to literally have the solar eclipse in Virgo right on the Saturn of the USA chart. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel.